Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. Only we're not in Mike's Garage today. We're at the Ventura, California Fairgrounds. Right here on the beach. It is like beautiful. There are people lined up for days to get in here, and they got everybody in here pretty fast, but there are thousands of people here. This is Chopper Fest, also the David Mann Show. For those who know who David Mann was, and I'm sure y'all do. Anyway,
oh yeah,
everybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Anyway, I'd like to introduce my friend Mike Thomas, and Mike is better known as Kiwi because he has Kiwi Indian in Riverside, California. And you know, we came by and I stopped to say hello to Mike, and we're just kind of talking. He's got a bike here that I find so interesting we'd like to show it, but I'm not foolish enough to talk about it. He's the expert. So Mike, would you be so kind as to show?
Take it away.
Take it away with your 48 Vindian.
So in 1948, Indian sent a motorcycle to Vincent in England to put their motor in it. And they produced one prototype, so only one was made, and it's gone. Nobody knows what happened to it, but it's long gone. But there's some photos, 3 photos that exist of this. So I reproduced it from those 3 photos. It actually turns out to be very, very elegant. It looks like it belongs in there. The Vincent motor is a really, really beautiful motor. So to put it into the nice flowing lines of a Chief, especially in 1948, it just really rounded out that whole package.
Absolutely. I'm a freak for Art Deco anyway.
Oh, this
is Art Deco to the ultimate.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is actually, it's not an easy thing to put in there. I mean, it's a heck of a lot of work. It just doesn't fit in there. I'm gonna gather that the reason why it wasn't put in production is because of the cost of the motor. The motor would have been, it's got a lot of moving parts in there. So I'm sure compared to a flathead, what Harley was doing, it would have made it a very high-priced bike. But had they pursued it, one never knows what the outcome would have been. And it would have been a premium price for a bike. But this bike here rides and handles like no other Indian. I mean, I've got a lot of Indians and a lot of 1948s, but this thing just folds around. You put it in the canyons, it just folds around the corner.
You know, I really can't imagine what this is like, but I remember from my old Indian. Do you remember John Canessa?
Oh yeah, John.
Okay, John and I used to ride together over all these hills around here and all that. We'd take off with a bunch of guys on Harleys, and I mean, we never scraped to go around corners or anything. I mean, it was like a whole different world for me.
This thing
on
takes,
an Indian chassis.
Yeah.
I love it.
For whatever reason, you know, I look at the center plane of the axis of the motor compared to another stock 1948. This thing feels like it's got a lower center of gravity, and to go around the corners, I mean, it just in the canyons, it just feels like it just wants to fall over. It handles like nothing. I mean, my guys that specializes in the engine is a Vincent guy, Ziggy, and he goes, so he takes it for a test ride, and he works on Vincent's all the time, and he goes, Mike, he goes, this bike is way better than any Vincent. I go,
well, the Vincent never had a chassis.
Excuse me?
But most people don't realize it, but with the stressed member of the frame, all you had with the Vincent was a front end and a back end, and the motor was everything in between.
And the riding position on a Vincent isn't, I don't think it's ideal. And man, he just loves this bike, and I really love this bike. You got a 4-speed transmission, overhead valve, plenty of balls. I mean, if you know, an old bike, you usually got to line up. If you got to overtake somebody, you sort of go, well, have I got enough straightaway? Have I got enough speed? You know, to run out of RPMs. This thing here, you just don't. You want to overtake somebody, you just crank the throttle and it's done.
Well, it's really beautiful. I mean,
and I did it in the same colors as original. If I'm going to look at any upgrade, I did an upgrade on the front brake. It's got twin leading front brake shoes, which
Sure.
Indian never had, but it's still the Indian style.
Right.
A friend of mine in Australia makes those. We're going faster today. We got more interaction with traffic,
Sure.
so I wanted better brakes.
Absolutely. But it's beautiful, and I really appreciate you showing it to us.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank
Likewise,
you.
mate.
And until next time, we'll see you out on the road.
You got it. See